Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 5 reasons that you should buy the Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro. So why should you buy this bike? Well, we're going to start with kind of an obvious one, and that's going to be the suspension. This Showa suspension is fantastic. In the front you have 45mm forks with 9.44 inches of travel, and in the rear you have a Showa monoshock with 9.05 inches of travel. The front is fully adjustable. You have your preload, your rebound dampening, and your compression dampening. In the rear you have your preload adjustment and your rebound adjustment. So as you can see here, it's just one quick little dial. Turn it all the way clockwise to close it, all the way counterclockwise for minimum. It's just a little dial that you spin all the way clockwise, closes it, and then you count clicks going counterclockwise. Again, for on-road riding, solo riding, the manual states that you should do 8 clicks counterclockwise, and for off-road riding, 18 clicks counterclockwise. I don't follow those because I'm 6'1", 250 pounds, and I bring luggage usually wherever I go. So I usually go 10 clicks for off-road and 5 clicks for on-road, and for the rear I still go to the 10.5 clicks, which is in the manual for road riding, and it says minimum for off-road, but I go about 5 clicks for off-road. So it is there's so many different settings for the suspension on this bike that you can customize it and tailor it to your specific needs. Again, that might be an obvious one, but it's very important. That's one of the main reasons you buy this bike, is for that Showa suspension. Now, it's not as good as, say, your KTM 890 or probably even your Yamaha Tenere, but this bike was built to be more of a 50-50 bike on off-road, and those bikes are more geared towards just off-roading. So you get the best of both worlds with this bike. The frog over there yelling at me. So number 2 is going to be the engine / gearing of this bike. Now this is the 888cc triple. It produces 94 horsepower, 64 foot-pounds of torque. It's got plenty of power. It's not the new upgraded version. This is the 2024, technically in the US, 2023 in other countries, Aragon Edition. This is the old engine. The newer engine has, I think, 105 horsepower. So they did upgrade it, but this is still plenty. And what I like about it more specifically is the gearing. So when I'm riding backcountry roads, 3rd gear is perfect. 3rd gear, I can take it all the way down to 20 miles per hour and all the way up to about 60 and still being in a good rev range. So if you drop it all the way down to 20, you still have plenty of power to get up and go. You're not lugging, it's not going to stall on you. And I think it was about 60 miles an hour at 6,000 RPMs. It was quite the range. Off-road, 2nd gear is perfect. You can still hammer on it when you need to, and you can slow it right down for the technical stuff. There's very wide range in the gearing of this bike with 2nd and 3rd gear that fits my riding style perfectly. And of course, the bonus, you get the Triumph reliability in the engine. This thing's never going to quit on you. It's bulletproof. I do wish I had the new upgraded engine, but I'm not going to cry about it. Maybe a little bit. So far, this engine has been phenomenal. All right, so number 3 is probably the biggest reason I bought this bike, and that's the comfort. And what do I mean by that? It has such a nice upright seating position. You can see how my back is nice and straight. Arms are out. You have a really good knee angle here. So the riding position for someone like me who has back issues is perfect. I can sit like this all day long. But that's not all for comfort. This windscreen, although it is not as good as I originally thought, it's still pretty darn good. It blocks most of the wind. I get a little bit at the tip of my visor, but my legs are nice and covered by the fairings. You don't get hit in the chest at all. And coming from a Triumph Scrambler with nothing in the front and getting thrown around when you're out riding more than 40 miles an hour, this is a dream. I love it. To go along with the comfort, the adjustable seat is something that's important to me as well. So when I'm off-roading, I put it in the lower seat height because I want to be able to get my feet down firmer. But when I'm on doing a long road ride, I put it in the higher seat position because it gives me a better knee angle. It stretches me out a little bit, so I'm more comfortable for longer rides. So having that seat adjustability is clutch. Also, the ride quality on this bike is phenomenal. It goes back to the suspension and the seat, and I understand that, but put it all together, you get a fantastic ride quality. And it's been a long time since I've had a bike that I was confident in that I was going to be comfortable for a very long time when I'm out riding. So I would give the ride quality of this bike probably a 9 out of 10. Number 4. So I lumped all this together, and I'm just going to call it all the stock features. So the reason you buy the high-end model like the Aragon Edition is so you don't have to go out and spend a whole bunch of more money customizing it and fixing things here and there that you find you don't like. So the stock features I'm talking about are, it comes with the crash bars, it comes with a customizable display, all the riding modes, the heated grips, the heated seat. And the one that shocked me the most, that I absolutely love now, is the quick shifter. Now, when I first bought this bike, quick shifter wasn't even a factor. I would never use it. I like using a clutch. I like the feedback. I like the feel. However, after I played around with it for a little bit, tested on the road, quick shifter is a lot of fun. And it's so smooth and easy to use that you actually want to use it more than you think. When I use it the most is when I'm at a stop and I take off. If you're riding aggressively or riding with a pack of people that like to take off, when you first take off and you're going through the gears and you're having to pull in the clutch and shift and all that, it gets a little jerky. I hope you know what I'm talking about when I say that, because I don't know how else to describe it. But when you're using the quick shifter, maintain your grip while shifting very easily. So it takes away that jerky motion, it takes away all that extra effort. And on the Triumph, you can actually downshift as well with the quick shifter. Some bikes you can't. So the quick shifter has really grown on me, and I absolutely love it. So all these stock features that come on this bike, that's why you spend that money. And I had to put it on this list because it's become a big part of why I love riding it. Number 5. Now this one has an asterisk on it, and I'll explain in a second. But number 5 is going to be the Triumph Tiger's on-road and off-road performance. Now on-road, again, your 94 horsepower, 64 foot-pounds of torque, the comfort, all that. The on-road performance of this bike is spectacular. Now you don't get that out of a lot of other ADV bikes, like the KTM 890, like the Tenere. Those bikes aren't that fun, they're not that comfortable on the road, they don't perform that well on the road. I've had this through the twisties going nice and fast, you've seen those videos, and this thing performs spectacularly. Now off-road is the asterisk. Off-road, easy and intermediate, is phenomenal. I don't have any issues, but when you get into more technical terrain, this bike does lack. And more than I expected it to. Kind of disappointing. That Showa suspension is awesome, but it can only do so much. And that whole issue with the front rake angle, what everyone's saying is the rake angle in the front, I believe as they said, it was 24 degrees, which is pretty steep. And what it causes it to do is the front end, when you're off-road, especially in difficult terrain, the front end wants to tuck on you. So you don't feel confident going at technical terrain aggressively. Now, I've been up and down suspension settings on this bike numerous times, trying to find the right setting that would kind of eliminate that or lessen it. If you up the preload and adjust the rear a little bit more, it does help. But in anything that's loose or slick, it still does it. It still wants to do it all the time. So I'm not saying you can't do that terrain, but you're not going to do it fast. You're not going to do it aggressively. So this bike is limited. And for $20,000, it shouldn't be. I understand they built this bike to be more on-road capable than those other extreme off-road adventure bikes. But again, you're paying a premium dollar. I expect premium results. But back to the positive side of it, this bike is so much fun to ride off-road. Again, in light and intermediate, terrain. It handles fantastic. The torque is nice and linear. All the power is nice and smooth. And you can really get on it and get the rear end loose if you want to. So off-road, I've been having a ton of fun on this bike. So again, number 5 is going to be on-road and off-road performance. Put them together, combine them. It's not a bike that's going to lean one way or the other. And that's what a lot of people want in an ADV bike. You want that 50-50 bike. Well, this is it. So just like my other video, I'm going to give you a bonus one. And the bonus is the looks of this bike. This bike looks so awesome. I love how it looks. I love the aggressive front end. For me personally, this is one of the best looking ADV bikes out there. I know that shouldn't be a factor, but it is. We all admit it. It is a factor. So there you have it. There's 5 reasons why you need to go out and buy a Triumph Tiger 900. Overall, even though it came down a little, I'd still give this bike an 8 out of 10. And that's a really good score. No bike I've previously owned has come close to that. This bike ain't going anywhere. I'm gonna have it for a long time. And that's saying something, because I like to buy new toys and I'm still happy with this bike. Believe me when I say that says something. If you enjoyed this video and you like my content, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, like the video. It really helps me out. I love making content for you guys. So please, please, please don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you soon.